Never let your money sleep, these were the words Liam heard from his grandmother when he was only 12 years old. At first, he didn't understand. Everyone around him said the same thing: save your money. Put it away, keep it safe. But his grandmother always smiled and replied, saving is important, but money that only sits still becomes weak. Money should work just like people do. Years later, Liam finally understood what she meant. It started in a small farming town. There lived a man named Henry. Henry wasn't poor because he lacked intelligence. He wasn't poor because he lacked opportunity. He was poor because he spent his entire life waiting. Waiting for the perfect moment. Waiting for the perfect idea. Waiting for luck to arrive. Every evening he sat on his porch and imagined a better future. One day he would own a business, one day he would travel. One day he would become successful. But every dream ended with the same words. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow became next week. Next week became next year, and years disappeared. His family struggled, bills piled up. The roof leaked whenever it rained. The refrigerator was often nearly empty. Still, Henry continued waiting. Then one winter evening something happened. His granddaughter Emma sat beside him. She looked at the snow outside and quietly asked, "Grandpa, why do other families seem less worried than us?" The question hit him harder than any storm. He had no answer. That night he couldn't sleep. For the first time, he realized that dreams without action were simply wishes. The next morning he took a job helping repair fences on nearby farms. The work was exhausting, his muscles ached. His hands became rough, but every Friday he brought home a small paycheck. It wasn't much, yet it was more than yesterday. For a while things improved. But every month the same thing happened. Money arrived, then disappeared. Food, rent, repairs. Unexpected expenses, the cycle never ended. Henry became frustrated. No matter how hard I work, he thought, I never get ahead, so he began saving. Every week he placed a few dollars into a metal box hidden inside a closet. Watching the box fill made him feel secure. Month after month he added more. Eventually the box contained more money than he had ever saved before. He felt proud, until one day. A machine on the farm broke down. The replacement cost was far higher than expected. Prices had risen, everything seemed more expensive. The money he had worked so hard to save suddenly felt much smaller. For the first time he realized something important. Saving alone wasn't enough. The money wasn't growing, it was simply waiting. And waiting changes nothing. A few weeks later Henry noticed something interesting. His neighbor, Sarah, owned a small greenhouse. Every season she sold herbs and vegetables at the local market. She wasn't wealthy, but every year her business became slightly bigger. Henry asked her a simple question: "What's your secret?" Sarah laughed. "I stopped thinking about money as something to store. I started thinking about it as a seed." A seed, the idea stayed in Henry's mind. A seed doesn't grow inside a drawer. A seed grows when it is planted. That spring Henry used part of his savings to build a small vegetable garden behind his house. The first harvest wasn't impressive. A few tomatoes, some peppers. A handful of lettuce, but he sold them anyway. Then he reinvested the earnings. The next season the garden doubled, then doubled again. Soon local restaurants were buying from him. Neighbors became customers. The small garden became a small business. For the first time in his life, Henry wasn't simply trading hours for dollars. His money was helping create more money. Years later, Emma walked through rows of healthy crops stretching across the land. "Grandpa," she said, smiling, "is this how success happens?" Henry nodded. "Success begins when you stop asking what money can buy and start asking what money can build." Emma never forgot those words, neither did Henry. Because he learned a lesson many people discover too late. Saving protects money, growing money changes lives. And sometimes the biggest difference between struggle and success is deciding to plant the seed instead of keeping it in your pocket.